Trump talks to the press, tells them the tariffs are coming soon. April 2nd, going to be a glorious day. Not going to be April 1st. Don't want to fool anybody. It's happening. There's no denying it. And they better get ready for it. So here was Trump explaining the following on the airplane heading back into Washington. Let's turn some volume on because that's more useful.
The president and his markets and consumers continue to react to tariffs. His markets and consumers react to tariffs. Do you have any inclination to create exceptions or to use up on any?
About what?
To create exceptions to the steel and aluminum tariffs?
No, I have no intention of it. No. April 2nd is a liberating day for our country. We're going to be getting back some of the wealth that very foolish presidents gave away. They had no clue what they were doing. And April 2nd, I would have made it April 1st, but you know what April 1st is? April Fool's Day. I figured, I don't like doing it, but I made it April 2nd. But it's a liberation day for our country because we're going to be getting back a lot of the wealth that we so foolishly gave up to other countries, including friend and foe. Yes, go ahead.
You've talked about the hangover from the Biden economy. Is this your economy now?
Certain things are. Certainly tariffs are, which we've already taken in billions of dollars. We've taken in already billions of dollars, and we haven't even really started the program other than certain areas, certain pinpointed areas, and many billions of dollars have already come into our country. But the big money is coming in on April 2nd, from April 2nd. But I will tell you what is smart. When I took it over, eggs were through the roof, and now eggs are down 35% over a short period of time. And the other fuel, gasoline, energy is down, way down. Oil is down to $65 a barrel. It was $82 a barrel. Then when energy comes down, pricing is going to come down. Prices for groceries, etc., are going to come down. So, yeah, I think we're setting a good table.
Sir, on April 2nd tariffs, are you planning to do sectoral and reciprocal tariffs? Will you do sectoral tariffs?
What it's going to do, in certain cases, it's going to be reciprocal. In other words, whatever they're charging, we're charging. Very simple. If they're charging us, we're charging them. It's no longer they charge us, but we don't charge them. It's foolish presidents. But others also, in all fairness, with Biden.
And they don't need to cry constantly about how destructive this is. If it's so destructive, why do they have tariffs on us? Is it because they want to protect their markets? And if it's good enough for them to do that, why is it not good enough for us to do it?
It's the worst president we've ever had. He made Jimmy Carter look like a good president. But on this, a lot of other presidents were guilty also. Some very good presidents were guilty. They charge us and we charge them. Then in addition to that, on autos, on steel, on aluminum, we're going to have some additional matters.
Mr. President.
Yeah.
So to follow up on the Biden auto pen, are those executive orders, those pardons from the former president now null and void?
Well, I think so. It's not my decision. That'll be up to a court. But I would say that they're null and void because I'm sure Biden didn't have any idea that it was taking place. And somebody was using an auto pen to sign off and to give pardons to, as an example, it's just one example, but the J6 Unselect Committee. Think of it, they gave pardons with an auto pen. I don't think Biden knew anything about it. And what they did is they deleted and destroyed all of the information that took them over a year to get. And the reason they did that is because the information was very incriminating about them. Like Nancy Pelosi, who was determined conclusively that she knew about 10,000 soldiers and turned it down. And if we used 500 soldiers, you would have had no problem, let alone 10,000. The young lady that said that I grabbed this powerful young Secret Service agents by the neck. Okay. You know, that was a big hoax. It was a lie. And she admitted it. And they deleted everything. What they did is criminal. I think we're about to land, everybody. Have a good time. We'll see you very soon.
Are you going to the Kennedy Center tomorrow?
I am. I'll see you at the Kennedy Center. We have to straighten it out. It's not a good situation, like everything else in this country. But we're going to straighten it out.
Because Vice President Vance was there a couple of days ago.
Got to even fix performing arts, says the president. The auto pen situation is going to be very interesting. We're going to come back on that one because I want to let that story marinate a little bit further. But it is an interesting question in that little line that Trump shoved in there about, I don't think Biden knew anything about it. Curious. What do you know there, Mr. President? Remember when Biden took over, they got Trump's cell phones. They went through all of Trump's records and they tried to create a case to prosecute against him. So the question is, what does Trump have of the Biden records that show Joe Biden had actual knowledge of what was being signed with the auto pen? Do they have the file papered, in other words? And you can see a parallel on this with the lawsuits that we've been covering. The judges will come to Trump and they'll say to Trump's Doge team or the administration, whoever's doing the work in whatever agency we're talking about, Treasury or whatever, and they'll say, who made those decisions to fire everybody? I don't think it was Rubio at all. And they go back to Rubio and they say Rubio signed this document that delegated it to Pete Morocco. Pete Morocco has the authority under these provisions. And then Pete Morocco did the following. And here's the decision. So it's all emanating from the power of the president, right? And it's papered up. Like you can see, you can follow it. So does Joe Biden have the same thing? And if he does, how solid is that evidence? Does it look like it was created after the fact? Does it look like Joe Biden had any capacity about it, to do this? What is the evidence? So it's interesting. I honestly don't think that it's going to, we'll see. I don't think it's going to materialize into anything. Like, I don't think those pardons will be litigated to be invalid, but it might be worthy of an evidentiary investigation to see what is in there, what is in the file. And again, Trump might know something that we don't know. And there's a lot of questions about this, right? Because I think Joe Biden was specifically on the golf course the day that they signed it. So did he see it? Somebody send him a letter? Did he get a digital transmission of the document and he signs, I approve it? When it's electronic, yes, signatures, and then boom, goes back over and then it's auto penned up. I don't know. But if there was collusion there, if there was a conspiracy to insurrect the presidency, no one's above the law and we have to get to the bottom of it. So there should be an investigation immediately and we'll be here for it. So that is what is happening with Trump. Now, we also have more from the rest of the cabinet. Scott Bessent was out, sat down with Breitbart, and he, of course, is the Treasury Secretary, said, we've been addicted to government spending for far too long. And last week we were calling it detox time, right? Everybody's just, all the Democrats, you got to detox off your government money. Okay, you don't need it. I know you've been addicted to it for the last however many decades, but it's not good for all of us. Okay, you're killing America with your addiction to government money. So you have to save America. And this goes double for all the civil servants out there. So we want to serve America and just be a servant, a civil servant for America and do good for America. That's amazing. We're really grateful for you. We appreciate all your service that you've done for our country. Thank you. But now your role, if you want to save America, is to no longer work for America. Okay. We appreciate everything you've done. Thanks. We can't afford it anymore. And so you being on this boat is sinking the boat. You have to get off now and go find a different job. Since you're such a good civil servant, you're such a valuable addition to the federal bureaucracy. We know you're going to be very amazing and efficient in the private sector as well. So don't worry about it. You'll find another job quickly.
One of the reasons I came out from behind my desk and asked President Trump if I could join the campaign then when he asked me to be in the cabinet was because I was so alarmed by this high level of government spending. We've never seen anything like this. Highest level ever when we weren't in a war or in a recession. So the Biden administration relied on this blowout spending. Back to the mainstream media, no one criticized it when they were doing it because it was for the great and the good. It was for green programs. It was for this. It was for overseas engagement. Now what we're trying to do is do a course correction where we bring down the government, we deleverage the government and re-lever the private sector.
Yes.
We're going to do that by cutting spending. The lowering interest will get a natural lowering of interest rates. And then on the other side, as we re-lever the private sector, we plan to deregulate the banking system, which was one of the things I talked about at the Economic Club of New York last week. So as we allow as we unshackle a regulated banking system, they can lend to the private sector, and especially Main Street, which has been overlooked. So small regional banks, small banks, community banks. And so as the government comes down, the private sector will go up. Government will shed excess labor, and there's plenty of it. And then the private sector will pick it up.
Yeah. Boom. There you go. Okay. It's like Indiana Jones with that golden skull. All right. So all these very valuable public employee civil servants are we're just going to take that one head off and then put the other head on and then hopefully not get blasted with arrows. But that is a welcome development, especially for those of us most of us who are not on the federal government dole. Let's stop taking our resources, because it's coming from all of us, and then being repurposed into the government. Now it's not. It's incredible news. That's amazing. Okay, so thank you, Scott, for that.